Ford of Canada, where quality is job one, presents Sportsline.
I'm frustrated.
Tonight on Sportsline, no deal. NHL players walk away from a new offer. On the ice in Cole Harbor, the Colts try and buck a losing trend. So get a kick out of life. Sportsline is next. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. I'm Doug Vason. No means no with the NHL Players Association. Executive Director Bob Goodnow tonight turned down two offers from owners that would end the NHL impasse. Goodnow says Commissioner Gary Bettman's proposals were cheap spin-offs of a familiar tune. Goodnow says the players will make a new offer perhaps as early as tomorrow, but owners are already downplaying its significance. Boston GM Harry Sinden, among others, went on the attack after the meeting tonight.
No matter what compromise position you come up with, no matter what efforts you make to address what he sees as problems, they will be rejected until you finally get down to his position.
Never have I seen anything like a negotiation where we just get a flat no. And you're talking to somebody here in this chair that likes to make a deal and wants to find a way to make a deal, but it's very hard to make a deal with yourself. So to be short and sweet to the point, I think what's happening here is lines are hardening. I, for one, am very, very disappointed. I'm very, very, very frustrated, and I am not optimistic either.
No, the most important thing in the world when you deal with a union is to have an intelligent union leader, and we didn't have one today.
I'm frustrated, and I guess that's how I'll leave it. I'm not going to contradict anything these gentlemen said. I'm very frustrated. We're trying, we're making proposals, and I'm frustrated.
No, we're dealing with one core central issue right now, but each side is dealing with it in the context of their other greater proposals. So this is just one piece of a very large, multifaceted problem. There are supposed to be 6 games tonight that won't take place. That's 12 teams that won't be playing. And we went a long way last week to try to avoid this very problem. And hopefully there's a possibility that things can be resolved down the road, but I don't think that it's anything that people should be overly positive or overly negative about. Now, this is a long, difficult process given the circumstances that we're in.
We know that the league's working hard and that we're working hard at trying to come up with a solution. But until you can come up with a solution to the philosophical differences, we're going to be negotiating for a long time, I guess.
Goodnow says the NHL later apologized to him for the comments made by Devils owner John McMullen, who questioned Goodnow's intelligence, and Bruins GM Harry Sinden, who called him an enemy of the game. I guess it's just Goodnow's turn. Last week, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman criticized players for making personal comments about him, saying they don't help the talks. Let's take it to the ice now. After taking it on the chin from the Halifax Exports last night, the Cole Harbor Colts tried again against Antigonish tonight in Maritime Junior action. It's the Colts home opener and some in-your-face hockey, the order of the night. We pick it up in the second period. The Colts up 1-0. Chad Horn takes a pass, cuts in front, puts the puck high over Tony Clark. Nice goal. Cole Harbor captain gives his team a 2-0 lead. But less than a minute later, Antigonish gets on the scoreboard. Jay Regular beats Mike Weatherby. Not a regular type goal. The Bulldogs trail this game 2-1. This one close all the way. 4 minutes into the second, Antigonish ties it up at 2. Scott Mahar pops it home. The Bulldogs live up to their name with some tenacious work. Cole Harbor has a golden opportunity to regain the lead. Gordy Ross in on goal, but Clark comes up with a stick save. 2-2 after 2 periods tonight. In the third, Jamie Henderson sends it to Tom Carnovale, who cuts in front. Somehow the puck winds up in the net. Antigonish grabs its first lead of the game, but the Colts came right back. Mike Tilley intercepts the pass. His shot partially stopped, but it just does get over the line. The game tied up again, this time at 3. The game winner comes midway through the third. Trevor McLean does some nice stick handling, shoots the puck. Brian O'Neill stuffs it in from the side of the net. 4-3 Bulldogs, and they hold on for the win tonight. That spoils the Colts home opener. As we go to the scoreboard, Colts coach Bob Boucher doesn't like the result, but he does like the way his team stood up to the aggressive Dogs. Antigonish coach, for his part, Brian O'Neill, says he likes the way his defending champs fought back tonight for the win.
Yes, we're seeing this year we have the team to come back. We played against the Amherst the other night. We came back, scored 2 goals in the last 2 minutes of the game. We're doing that pretty good so far this year. Hopefully we'll have a real good team.
We sure stuck up for each other. There was a lot of spearing and butt-ending and swinging the sticks on the part of the Antigonish team, and our guys went after them and didn't let them get away with it. And that's something I'm really proud to see, because if the referee isn't going to call the deliberate intent to injure, then the players have to do it themselves, and our guys really answered the bell.
Bob never at a loss for words, is he? In the AHL, the 1994 version of the Battle of New Brunswick begins tomorrow night in St. John. The Flames host the Fredericton Canadians, a team determined to change last year's result when the Baby Habs didn't make the postseason. Sportsline's Paul Martin reports.
Last season was one the Fredericton Canadians would rather forget. Oh, it started out all right. They won their first 3 games, but then the Baby Habs were winless in 9. They won a couple more, only to suffer through yet another 9-game winless streak. And in the end, they missed the playoffs. And Coach Paulin Bordelot is determined to put last season as far behind him as he can.
Not that my job is in jeopardy or I'm afraid to lose my job, but it's just something that it leaves a bad taste, and I still have a little bit of that bad taste, and we don't want it to happen this year.
Unfortunately for the Canadians, though, their first 2 games this year weren't filled with too many positives either. In 2 road losses to the defending champion Portland Pirates, Fredericton was outscored 14-6, so Coach Bordelot's patience might already be wearing a little thin.
The only thing I'm concerned is I'm going to look at is the team to play hard.
The Canadians do have a young team, true enough, but there's also a lot of talent on board, especially after Montreal made their final training camp cuts and sent down prospects like Craig Ferguson.
Well, Craig he's our leader. He was our captain last year, and you know, I wish all these guys could have stayed up there. Darby, Fergie, Campbell, Guillette. I thought Guillette had a very, very good camp, good exhibition games, and I thought he played really well. And I thought he was going to get a shot. So these guys here have a job to do to improve. They got to work on their game, but also they have to work as a team and win some hockey games and try to have fun doing it. And if they do that, they're going to improve and they'll get their chance in Montreal.
And moving on, in AUAA exhibition hockey tonight from Wolfville, Tom Coulin's Axemen beat up on the St. Mary's Huskies 7-2 the final. Sean O'Reilly led the Axemen with a pair of goals and 2 assists. Scoring for St. Mary's were Tony McCabe and Craig Wright. And enough of the puck. After the break, it's AUAA soccer. A battle for Halifax between Dalhousie and St. Mary's. Highlights follow the break. And we're back with basketball. NBA Commissioner David Stern says, forget a lockout. The NBA season will start on time. Are you listening, Gary Bettman? And why not take notes while you're at it? With baseball and now hockey dropping the ball, professional basketball will apparently begin on schedule November 4th. Stern says no deadline has been set to secure a collective bargaining agreement, and reports of NBA owners locking out players are false.
Is that true or not true? That is untrue. The Board of Governors, what we did today was to take a group of 27 people and 2 observers, in the case of Toronto and Vancouver, and said, let's move this down to a committee in whom we have trust and faith, that's experienced in the NBA, that's experienced in collective bargaining, that understands the concerns of large market, small market teams, and most importantly, players. And let's give them the power to go out and make this deal and do what's necessary to make this deal.
The expansion Toronto Raptors will start the NBA play in the 8-team Central Division. Toronto will be joined by Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, Indiana, Cleveland, Charlotte, and Milwaukee. Vancouver's already been moved into the Midwest Division. Both Canadian teams debut next season. And also tonight, the NBA's Board of Governors has approved some new rule changes. The three-point line will be shortened to a uniform 22-foot arc. Players fouled while shooting a 3 will be awarded 3 foul shots. And players will receive a 1-game suspension and fined $20,000 for leaving the bench during an altercation. Cincinnati radio station says Reds manager Davey Johnson has been offered a 5-year contract to manage the Baltimore Orioles. Station WLW says the deal is reportedly worth $3.5 million. However, the Orioles say Johnson's interview had not even started when the report was aired. He is the 8th candidate to be interviewed since Johnny Oates was fired last week. Both the Orioles and Johnson denied a deal was made today. The Dalhousie Tigers were the only unbeaten team in AUAA men's soccer heading into today's game at home against the first-place St. Mary's Huskies. Our Sport Lines camera, It's Late for Me Too, was at the game.
When I say number, you say one. Number. One. Number. One. DA. Number. One. DA. Number. One.
There you go. That'll wake you up. Tiger fans showing their support today, but it's Huskies who strike first from the throw-in. One-shot stop by goalie Trevor Chisholm, but Richard Van Horn strikes the rebound high over his head into the far corner. 1-0 St. Mary's. The goal coming in the 12th minute. 2-0 Huskies in the second half when Dell finally breaks the goose egg. Mark Moad beats Chad McDonald to the ball, puts it behind the Huskies' keeper. The Tigers trail 2-1. But St. Mary's quickly regains its 2-goal cushion in the 67th minute now. Desmond Lambert with a nice move to beat Trevor Chisholm, and that makes it 3-1. Lambert's team-leading 5th goal of the season, and the Dell coaching staff not looking too optimistic at this point. But the Tigers don't quit. Tony Pignatiello scores on the penalty kick to cut the Huskies lead to 3-2.